Hey guys, this is Bruce. Welcome to Convocourses podcast. It's Saturday, so 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We do this every week where it's open topics, anything you want to talk about, as long as it has to do with cybersecurity. And I'm a subject matter expert on specifically on security compliance. Um, but any other topics you want to talk about, it's fine with me. The great thing about this community is that there's people that get on here that are way smarter than me who can articulate exactly what to do and where to go, how to learn certain aspects of cybersecurity and information technology. And that is my favorite thing about this community. And that's what it's all about. It's about this whole community. So that being said, let's get into this. I want you guys to know right now, I have another, just like last week. I try to come out with something every week I can give you. And last week we had like a free book, like that book I wrote like a year ago. But now I have one I just recently finished up. Like all of the edits on it are done. I've got a few other things I have to do on the back end of it as far as offering other free stuff to go with the book. I'm still working on that. But if you're interested in that, link in description below. It's 99 cents right now. It's going to go up in price. That's how you advertise it. You come in low or free. And I'm trying to get reviews. So those of you who are already on my newsletter, you guys have already gotten an offer to actually get my book for free, absolutely for free, PDF version of it to review it. So if you didn't know, now you know. So this right here is going to be a walkthrough of how to do prompt engineering with ChatGPT, but also you can use it with any large language model. And it's what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a whole series of it where it goes deeper and deeper into more complex issues with because there's a lot of stuff you can do with ChatGPT. So we're just scratching the surface on this first book. It's $1 right now. It's going to go up. I might drop the price even lower, but we'll see about that. But for now, $1. I'm looking for your guys' reviews. Check the book out. And let me see. I've already got something from someone saying, do you have anything on EMAS? I get this question a lot, but unfortunately, I don't have access to EMAS. Otherwise, I would totally teach that. EMAS, Archer, Exacta, and all the other platforms, I would be happy to teach it, but they're exclusive to the government. So as far as I know, I can't get access to them unless I work directly for that department, and I don't have access to EMAS. But I would love to. I've gotten offers from people talking about teaching it on my platform, but I haven't, there's nobody's actually doing it. So that'd be great if I could get that. But unfortunately, no, I don't have it. I know that a lot of work that we do is typically in a platform like that, but I don't have access to it. So sorry about that. I would love to get access and then explain. I mean, it's actually I've worked on a few systems. I worked on Archer, CSAM, some proprietary systems that certain government agencies have, and a lot of the work is done there, and they get very complicated. So it's hard. Like every time you get on a new one, you gotta like learn that new platform and how it parses the controls and how you do implementation statements and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, I don't have access to it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Is the reason there's none online. Yeah, I'm not sure like what's going on with that. I hope that they will like release like a demo version, to help people to get more awareness on how to use it and stuff. But unfortunately, I think that normally, I think there's some free training if you have access to the government. You can actually get access on the DISA site. Let me see if I can find that. DISA, I think, has an free EMAS training if you already have access to the internal DISA site. Let me see if I can find it for you. I know that there's this PDF, but oh man, this is really thin. My lord. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's this. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at here. Yeah, there's this, but this isn't what I was talking about. There used to be EMAS training. There used to be something where you could sign up within the government site. Is this it? NISP access to. Here's one, but I don't, I'm not sure if you have access to this, but here's one right here. I think you have to have access. You have to have like a CAT card. to get access to this one, but here it is right here. Yeah, I don't know. There's one. And I don't know, I may have access to this. I'll have to try it on my other computer, on my government computer. I'll try it. I'll try it. But it looks like it must have, yeah, look at that. Must have DOD PKI certificates from one of the following. Yeah, I don't, maybe I might have this. So maybe. Yeah, but that's a couple of resources. Let me see if I can find another one for you. All I did was type in EMAS training DISA because look, this is my site right here. People have been asking me this for years. I think I did this like 3 years ago. Yeah, look at this. This is me from 3 years ago talking about this exact same thing. People are always asking me about this, and unfortunately, I just don't have access to it. So, this is me again. Like, people constantly asking me about it. It's too bad. I would love to teach it because it's, I mean, I know a couple of these systems, so I'm familiar with them. I know I can figure it out pretty fast because once you've done one, you kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do. I hate EMAS. This is on Reddit. Oh, that's great. Reddit is awesome. Let me see if there's anything else here. DISA offers. Okay, no. Well, there's one. I saw it. You came up regular on EMAS. Yeah, because people have been asking me for years and years and years and years about it, and my answer is the same. Unfortunately, man. And somebody's gonna see this video. I'm gonna clip up this video of me not finding EMAS training, and then 3 years from now, if I'm still doing this, I'll see my face again on EMAS training. Sad state of affairs. Anyway, let me see. I had some questions here. Let me see if I can. Since there's nobody chatting with me, I'm gonna answer some questions from my own site. I got so many questions that happened throughout the week, and I'm not able to get to them because I'm just too busy. But let me see if I can answer some. EMAS is better than CSAM. I wouldn't know. I have not used. I use CSAM. I don't like it. I don't like CSAM at all, man. It sucks. ServiceNow is like a freaking Rubik's cube. ServiceNow. That's what I could talk about. The differences between the platforms. So, in doing federal GRC work, they usually do most of their work they'll do it on a spreadsheet or Word. They'll do it on several different platforms. One's called Exacta, which I've never messed with before. They used to have one called EIDTR, which the Air Force used to use. That one's gone. I don't think anybody uses that anymore. There's EMAS is one of the biggest ones in the Department of Defense. And then you got Archer, which is used not just by the federal government, but states use it, giant corporations use it. A lot of people use Archer. That's a big one. So I'm very familiar with that one. And then you've got ServiceNow, which is huge. And there's a few other ones besides those, CSAM. And so far, my favorite has been Archer, just because I'm just more familiar. It was very straightforward. They have their own controls. You can tell they put a lot of work into it. Archer's nice. I like Archer. CSAM, I'm at this new job I'm at. We're using CSAM, and I really don't like it. It's like complex for no reason. It's like they try to add too much into it and made it overly complicated, and it's not intuitive. And you kind of need it to be intuitive because everybody's going to be working with it, not just technical people, non-technical people, managers. Everybody has to use this system, and I feel like it's overly complicated, and it's just not. I don't know if it's how effective it is. Like maybe it's super effective. I don't know. But my first time working with it, it just seems overly complicated. I mean, I'm getting it. It's just like stuff is buried, and the way it handles poems is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of clunky. So I don't really care for CSAM too much. ServiceNow, oh my lord, ServiceNow has a lot of potential actually. Now called Snow. ServiceNow has a lot of potential. It can do everything. I feel like you almost have to be a programmer to use it. But I like ServiceNow. I just got to get used to it. I like I like how integrated it is. I can see why people don't like it. I can see why a person would hate ServiceNow because it's not intuitive and you got to like really dig into it. I like the filters. I like that everything can be fed into it. It seems to be something that if you do it right, it can really be a hub for everything you do in your organization. So that's what I like about it. It's like it's got a lot of potential. I don't understand it quite yet. I'm not quite there yet with using it just yet, but I see that has potential. So I'm excited to actually learn more about ServiceNow, to be honest with you. Somebody said we use Archer. The security incident seems smooth, but no, uh, but a no for asset management. Um, yeah. Let me see. What did I use Archer for? My last couple places we used. I was at an organization that was using ServiceNow to track security controls. And I got like a demonstration how they did it, and then they gave me this. I was mapping their security controls in Archer with 2 or 3 other control families, and I thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, this is really good. Like they really put some time into this when they developed it. And then I was at a place where they did do asset management, and then they did tracking the security controls with it, and I thought it was okay. It was okay. I didn't like how they do poems. I still don't. I haven't seen a system yet that handles poems right that I care for. But Archer was better than CSAM, I'd say. Um, yeah, Archer's better than CSAM. Okay, somebody asked me. I have done spreadsheets and Notepad. Holy crap! I can't say I've done Notepad before, but I've messed around with spreadsheets, and it's hard. If you have a large system, working with spreadsheets is difficult, man. Not fun at all. Somebody asked me, what would you recommend, AZ 400 or AZ 500? You know what? I'll pose this question to everybody. I'm not a cloud person, but anybody who I'll ask the question more than once so that we can get. There's a couple cloud people who follow me, and they'll jump on a little bit later, and I'll ask the question again. Just remind me to ask the question when more people. I'll ask it right now. So anybody out there using cloud, somebody's asking me, what do you recommend, AZ 400 or AZ 500? And I believe that's a Azure certification from Microsoft, if I'm not mistaken. AZ 400 is, yeah, it's a Amazon Azure certification, Cloud Academy. I don't even know the difference between those two, to be honest. Whoa, that must be a boot camp. That's expensive. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, but I'm not the right person to ask, but I'll ask some people. Okay, somebody said AZ 500 seems nice. Maybe get 104 before 500. Let me see. There's 400, design and implement Microsoft DevOps solution, and then AZ 400. What's that? No, 500. Sorry, AZ 500. AZ 500. AZ 500, Azure Security Technologies. All right, yeah, I'll keep asking the question. Somebody already said though that AZ seems nice. but maybe get 104. Do you mean 400, or is there a 104? AZ 104. I'm not a cloud guy, so I really don't know. Okay, it's 104 is its own thing. Okay, got you. 104 is a Microsoft Azure Administrator certification. We'll ask again, WS. We'll ask again. But in the meantime, let me see if I have. I want to see if I have any questions on, unless you guys have something. Adding value nonstop. Hey, thanks, Perry. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. If for you guys that are late to the game, you guys should know I have a 99-cent book. I'm doing this as a promotion. To launch. I'm launching a new book. It's about the basics of prompt engineering. Been using ChatGPT. I'm venturing into some of the AI stuff, and what I'm doing is trying to figure out how can I use this as a career professional. What can I do in my own business? How can I use it in my career? How can I use it as a professional doing my business? What can I do? How can I do content creation with it? I've been using it for all this stuff. I personally been using it to do some of the stuff I do that you see me do. And what I did was I consolidated it into a book. And so that right now is going for 99 cents. I'm looking for people to download it. I'm looking for people to give me some positive reviews out there before I put up the price. And actually, it's going to be a part of a series. I'm going to have a series of books. One, I'm going to deep dive into where I'm a subject matter expert at. And I could tell you so far, I'm about a fourth of the way through the book, writing it right now. And I could say that ChatGPT is very useful, but you definitely have to validate all the information. Oh man, excuse me. Sorry. You definitely have to validate all the information it spits out, because sometimes it's wrong. So if you're doing just, I would say if you're just messing around with it, like if you're just doing, I don't know, writing a script, or if you're, writing a script for your content, or writing a book or something like a fiction book or something that you don't have to validate the facts, then it's okay, right? If you're playing a game, you can play games with it, all kinds of stuff, or validating code or stuff like that. You don't really have to. But if you're writing like nonfiction, if you're doing anything, and especially if people are relying on the information and the facts that you're given, you can't. You got to double check the information. Some of it's wrong. So that's what I'm learning so far. Anyway, so the first book is just like how to write prompts, how to write a standard prompt, how to do prompt priming. And the reason I started going down this path, because I feel like this is something that's inevitable, and I feel like at some point, all of us, all IT professionals, all cybersecurity people, I would say even lay people, are going to have to know how to use prompts, just like everybody has to kind of know how to use browsers. And it's going to be like that. And for us professionals, or people wanting to be professionals, we have to go a little bit deeper. And so that's what I do. I talk about like what is a prompt, and then I start going in deeper and deeper into how you can use it to make more money, how to be more efficient in your life, like what can you do with it as a professional and as a business person. That's what this first book talks about. 99 cents on Amazon right now. If you go, the price will go up. I'm looking for reviews. The next book is gonna be, well, I got two of them in the works. So one is gonna be going deeper into NIST 800, like how can you use it to write a system security plan? Like what's the best prompts for that? What kinds of things? What are some of the security issues? Because there's definitely security issues with this thing. Huge, huge, huge security issues with this thing. So that's going to be a part of that next book. That's going to go deep. It's going to deep dive into that one area that I'm a subject matter expert on. And then there's another one where I'm going to do one about how to use it for social media. And then possibly one more. I'm not sure about that one yet. I might do one that uses something called Pinecone. That one involves programming stuff. That's going to be fun to do. But I don't want to spoil the surprise. That one's going to be really, really cool. But the first book is just like basic. All right, somebody said, can I get a high paying job with an A plus, N plus, network plus, or an ITIL 4? It depends. I mean, that's a pretty thin you didn't give me a lot of context there. Do you have experience? I would say if you had a lot of experience, I've met people who have a bunch of experience in something, and they were making six figures with no degree, no certifications. My first two mentors had no degree or certifications. I came in, I had a bunch of certifications. They had none, but they had what they did have was a lot of experience. Experience trumps degrees, trumps certifications. It goes in that. There's a pecking order. Now, if you have a little experience and one of those A plus, N plus, then my next question is, where do you live, and do you have a security clearance? Do you have a military background? What's your background? That would be my next question, because there is a way you can still get a high paying job with little experience and one of those certifications. So um, it kind of depends. I would say security plus with experience, depending on where you live in the country and what kind of background you have, what kind of experience, you could land a pretty good high paying job. Well, it depends on what you mean by high paying. I currently have no experience and currently in school with a bachelor's degree in security and information assurance. So no, like more than likely you will not land. I'm just telling you, like there's an 80% to 90% chance it will be difficult without experience to get a high paying job. I'm assuming high paying is over 100,000. I'm assuming that's what you mean. If you mean high paying 60,000, if that's what you mean, then probably you could. But here's what I would say to you if you're in school right now. This goes out to everyone who's in school. Number one, if you're in school right now, you need to start working on putting your profile together. Your profile that's on LinkedIn, your profile that's on Dice, your profile that's on Monster. And if you don't have one, you need to put one out there. The first step should be to create a resume. Create the resume, put all your skill sets in there. You have skills. If you've been doing this for a little bit, you have skills. You probably know a little bit of HTML. You probably know some cascading style sheets. You probably have created a website. You probably have built your own computer. There's a million things that you probably already know, but you got to put it in your skill set. And those are things you could put on your resume. You got to start somewhere, right? So, and projects in school, you can actually put that on your resume. So, and if you're not sure how to do that or kind of like how to word it, I've got a free resume. My personal resume is out there right now. You can go to convocourses.net, link in description, link in bio. Go there, download my resume, and it'll kind of give you an idea. Now, I have 20 years of experience, so you'll see all kind of crazy stuff on there. But what I mean is you can look at my resume and get an idea of how you put the keywords. Now, if you want to go deeper and you want to know how to learn to find keywords, I've got a book for that. So you can go ahead and check out my book, and it's going to walk you through everything I've done. And it's not expensive. So that book right there, just if you're looking for a discount on that book, a huge discount, go to convocourses.net, link in description, link in bio. Go ahead and check it out. If you watch my videos on a regular basis, go to YouTube, go look for Convo Courses. I got tons of free stuff that'll walk you through it. Now it's kind of all over the place, and people are like reposting my stuff and all that kind of stuff, but it's out there, and I'll walk you through everything if you just don't have the budget for it. But if you really want to invest in yourself, that's one good way to start. Let me see. Somebody said prompt. What is that? So a prompt in regards to artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Bard, Bing Chat, and other LLMs. There's lots of them right now that are merging. A prompt is just asking, basically, is what do you put into the AI to get a response back? And it can be as simple as what is NIST 800? That's a prompt. You type in what is NIST 800? That's a prompt. Now, if you wanted to know how to write a system security plan, that's a little bit more complex, because now you got to put in your input for that system security plan. So it can write the system security plan. Like it'll write you a template. If you give it nothing and you say, give me a NIST 800 Rev 2 system security plan, it'll write it. but it'll be a blank template, or it'll just come up with some fake information and put it in there, and it'll have the proper format and everything. Now, here's the thing. Here's where it gets a little bit crazy, because if you work in the government, you can't put that stuff in a publicly available. You can't put real data into a publicly available system like ChatGPT. You have to do something else. You have to download, and then your organization will have to approve it before you download it. There's this whole process you'd have to do stuff like that. But there's other things you can do. I mean, you could probably have it do you could probably have it write a draft for you if you are writing a paper for your to evaluate what the difference between ServiceNow and CSAM or something like that. It could probably write that for you. You'd have to check the data if you were trying to use that to validate why we should get ServiceNow over CSAM, or what's the pros and cons to, but it can write that for you. Like, it can write a brief summary for you. A prompt is a simple ask from an artificial intelligence. Once you start getting more complicated, like if you're a professional and you want something more nuanced, that's when the prompts get a little bit more complicated. You can do things like a prompt priming, where when you start off the prompt, it's remembering what you just said, and then you're adding to that. That's prompt priming in the simplest terms possible. You could do things like macros, where you're grouping prompts together. You can do things like if you have a website, you can figure out what's the keywords. It could tell you what's the top keywords in a certain given category, and then write you a script to do something like this. So it is pretty powerful. And then there's something called Auto GPT, where it'll automatically, you could just say, I need a site that can dominate in keto diets. What start writing it, and it'll create a website. This is crazy. It'll start a website, gather all the keywords. I mean, it will write it will begin to create it for you, and then put it all together for you. Now, I can't say how accurate it's going to be, right? I have no idea, but you probably have to still do some massaging to get it right. And then you got to be careful with some of the services out there, because if you create it'll automatically create a bot for you and then start advertising it. But you can't do that on every platform. So anyway, so that's what prompts are. Just ask a simple ask from an artificial intelligence. It's at some point, every one of us is going to know what that is. It's going to be like browsers. All of us are right now on some sort of a browser. Everyone has to know what a browser is. Like, it's everywhere. Like, we don't even talk about it. It's the thing that we use to talk to one another, and we don't even acknowledge that it's there. That's how prompts are going to be. That's how AI is going to be. I think AI is going to be using it everywhere. And the reason why I say that is because Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, and everybody's already starting to integrate it into their top technology. Microsoft is already trying to integrate it in versions of Windows 11. They're already integrated into their browser. Google is too. Google is working on their second iteration of an artificial intelligence. The first one's Bard. The next one's called Magi or something. And they might change the name. I mean, this is recent. So this stuff is moving really, really fast. Let me see. So that's why I say this book is a introduction into what all this stuff is and how you can use it as a professional. It's very, very useful. It's not, you don't want to have it doing stuff for you, but what you want to do is use it to enhance your work. Somebody said, what is your coffee? It looks creamy. It's actually tea. It's tea with cream in it. I started doing this. I don't know why I put cream in it now, but it's pretty good. Let me see. What are your thoughts on going into the military for IT or cybersecurity? What are my thoughts for going into IT, going into the military for going into the military for IT or cybersecurity? Okay. Here's my honest thoughts about it. Now, first of all, my background, I was in the military, and that's where I learned IT. The military changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. I I didn't have a lot of the structure at home that I needed, and the military was able to give that to me. That said, when by the time I got out, I had, 2 different career paths I could take. I could actually be a security, policeman, I could be a police officer, or I had the background for it, or I could be in go into IT when I got out. I had on-the-job training, I had, protected millions of dollars in resources, I'd been all over 15 different countries, I had all this experience in several different parts of IT alone. Like I was in on help desk, I did network engineering, I messed around with routers, switches, I did all kinds of stuff. And then of course risk management framework type GRC stuff. I did all of these different things in the military that gave me hands-on experience. That being said, I don't think it's for everyone. I would not recommend it to my kids, for example. I don't tell my kids to go in the military. Um, the reason why is because it's, um, it's a commitment that, it's a commitment that could it jeopardize your life. I'm being completely serious and honest. So, um, it's, you could end up in a war zone. Like it's serious. And maybe that's I'm saying this because I went in like right before, like a few years before 9/11 when all this terrorist activity was. So I'm kind of jaded. Like when I was in, there was back-to-back terrorist activity happening all the time, including 9/11. So a lot of things happened when I was in. Now it seems like it's a little bit more calm, but you never know. So what I'm saying is my advice to you is if you're trying to do this, I'm not telling you not to do it. It was an awesome move for me. Like it completely changed my life. But if you're going in I would not go in there for one thing. If you're gonna go in, go for more than one thing, I would say, unless you just love, love, love the military. If that's you, if you're just into the military, you just love everything the military does, then go for it. But if you're just doing it to get college, don't do it just to get college. I would say have more than one thing. And the reason I say that is because it's gonna get rough. It's gonna get rough for you. So if it's okay to go in for college, I'd say, but also go in for traveling the world. Like have more than one thing, and that way it increases your incentive to keep going and to tough it out because it's not going to be easy. They do not make it easy for you to get in. They do not make it easy for you to stay. So if you have a mission, if you go in with a goal and you say like that's what I did. I said, I didn't even like I did so many other things, but I was trying to get a degree, you know, I was a high school dropout. Like I had nothing on the outside. And I was thinking about going to a vocational school, but it was so rough at home that I was like, man, I can't survive. I'm not going to survive here. I'm not going to survive. I can't even focus on basic living, surviving, let alone becoming an electrician, which is what I wanted to do. So, or IT, I wanted to go into some computer IT, electrician, anything technical. I was just fascinated by it. So I would say somebody said, do one enlistment and get out. Nice. So here's what I would do. Number one, have more than one. You might want to stay in. I did 2 enlistments. If you have a goal, you'll stick with it. If you have more than one incentive or reason to be in, you'll stick. That's what I did. So I wanted to travel the world. That was a big one for me. And I wanted to um, get a degree. And I was able to do both those things times 2. So I really got all of that. And as an added bonus, it gave me this world perspective that I'd never had before. And then I still travel to this day because I love it so much. And the world, if you haven't traveled outside of the United States or outside of whatever country you're in, then you should definitely do it. It really gives you a different perspective on life and humanity and everything. Like right now, like a lot of times people are like this. They have blinders on. They've never seen any other countries. They never participated in any other cultures. They don't know what it's like outside of their own borders. Or some people are not even outside of their own city. They don't have no clue what happens outside. And it's not like the news. It's not like social media. The world's so much bigger than than where you're born at. Hope that helps you out. I understand I'm going into active reserves, man. I also want my hands on learning. Yeah, learning is and security clearance. That's cool. I give your yeah, more incentives you have to get in, the more you'll stick with it because it's really about your ultimate plan. Like have a plan. Get yourself a 5-year plan that is worth the risk you're about to take because you are about to risk in some cases you might have to risk your life, man. And I'm like I said, I'm jaded. I went in when there was a lot of terrorist activity. I saw a lot of stuff, man. Um, don't go in without a 5-year plan. Like have a 5-year plan that you when you get out, don't be one of these guys that get in and don't do anything in the military and then get out and they don't realize even how much skills they have even getting out. Don't be like that. If you have a plan before you come in, then when you get out, you'll come out with something, or maybe you'll stay in. I mean, maybe you need more time and you'll stay in. All right, let me see. I got some other questions here. Um, Somebody said, Bruce, I found your plan of action and milestone video. Oh my God, this really helped me to strengthen my STIG learning. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I got tons of stuff like that out there. Real deep plan of action and milestones, especially in my course. My courses have super deep stuff. But if you don't have the money or means or time to do it, then you can just go to YouTube and find my plan of action and milestone stuff. You can find stuff I talk about CIS. I talk about a little bit of ISO 27001. I talk about NIST 800. I talk about all risk responses from organizations, all kinds of stuff. And recently start getting into AI stuff. I'm going to go much deeper into that soon. I just need to prepare some content that's worth a full video. But in the meantime, I have a book about it. Let me see. I got some other questions. Somebody said, "Hello, I have no experience, but I already have an A plus, a network plus, a security plus. What advice can you give me to get into cyber?" Um, get experience. Um, the next thing that your focus should be, if this is you, if you have no experience, um, your next thing to do is to get experience. Now, the question you should be asking me is, how can I get experience? That is what you should be asking me. And that's a good question. If you happen to already be at a job, what I would do is start where you are. If you're in a hospital, for example, if you, let's say, you're a healthcare professional, what you can do is try to laterally transition or just help the IT people there. See if you can volunteer your time to help the IT people, or ask the organization if they need somebody to laterally switch over to IT. Now, if you happen to work in retail, if you happen to work in the restaurant industry, if you happen to be in financial sector, whatever job you're at, see if you can make a lateral change. That means like you're a chef and you're trying to be an IT person. See if the company that you're working for will allow you to literally transition over to the job as an IT person. This might work if you work at a large organization like Walmart or Target or Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever. Like big companies, they're always looking for people and they'd like to retain the people they have. And sometimes they'll have a career path that's in that job you're at, that they need people there. So if you're willing to like transition over, sometimes they're open to that. So that would be the first thing I do. If you happen to be in a job right now, especially at a large organization or medium-sized organization, see if you can transition over there, and then they pay you to continue to learn. Now, if they're like, nah, we really need you to be a chef, we really need you to be a bank teller or whatever, then see if you can volunteer your time with the IT guys. See if there's a way, you by hook or by crook, you got to get the experience. You got to get that. And the reason why it's very valuable is because when you put that on your resume, that's money. Every hour you put on, every bullet statement that of experience you have is more money. Think of it that way. So you got to get experience. If you're still in school and you have no experience, get experience. If you happen to be at university right now or at a community college, see if there's a work study program, an internship, anything to get that experience. Another thing you can do, if you maybe you're not employed at all, you have nothing right now going on. See if you can look, you have to have, first of all, let me back up. You have to have the knowledge. There's no way around that. Like you have to, a certification tells us that you can take a test and pass it. Because anybody can just brain dump a certification and pass it, and then they got a cert, and it's I mean that's good. I mean congratulations, but you got to get the knowledge. You got to have the knowledge first. Okay, so I'm assuming you already have the knowledge. Nobody is going to do this career field without the information and the knowledge. Nobody. Period. And if you're thinking, oh, I could just AI my way through it, no. Even to do the prompts for AI, you still have to understand like what it's telling you in order to know if it was right or wrong. You got to know what questions to ask. So it's not going to magically, it's not you've got to still know the knowledge. Anyway, so I'm assuming you already know the knowledge. If you work wherever you work, try to see if you can laterally change. If they won't let you transition, then steal the information, like whatever you got to do to get the experience. Volunteer your time for free and work with the IT guys. And beg for forgiveness when they catch you working with the IT guys to get that experience, because you could put that on your resume after that. So that's another thing you do. Let's say you don't have any of that. You don't have a job or nothing like that. There's places in your community, if you have the knowledge base, that you can volunteer your time to help out, like in old folks' homes if they need Wi-Fi or something set up. You have the knowledge now. You have an A+ certification. You have a Network Plus. You could set up network. That means you could set up networks. Go set up some networks for a old folks' home, or if you go to church, like go to your church, help them out. Whatever you got to do to get experience, that's what you got to do next. Because then you got to put that on your resume, and that is money. All the experience you get, the more experience you have, and think of it like this: the more versatile your experience is, like don't just know Windows, no Mac, no Linux. If you have access to those, the more operating systems you know and can build and all that kind of stuff, the better. Somebody said, hey Mike, how you doing? He says, I'm doing an information security internship at the place I work as a IT front desk. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Mike. That's exactly what you do. So now Mike, who's in university, who's the IT, he's on the IT desk. When he gets out, he'll be able to put all that stuff on he should be putting it on his resume now and putting it on LinkedIn, on Dice, on all that, because then he'll be getting contact before he even gets out of college. Then at some point, he's gonna have to make a decision. He'll be almost done with his degree, and somebody, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, some local company is gonna say, hey, we saw your resume. You got 2 years of experience. You have 1 year of experience, and you say here that you know Windows 10 and Windows 11. Like we're looking for somebody who knows this. Would you be interested in taking an interview? And then Mike is going to have to make a decision and say, okay, well, I still have 2 years of experience of school left. And maybe he just does the interview anyway and says, listen, I'm still working on my degree, my bachelor's degree, my associate's degree, whatever. I got a year left, but I would be happy to work for you guys, so you got to get the experience first. That's what I would say is the next thing you need to do. And then after that, after you get the experience, put that on your resume, put that on LinkedIn, on Dice, on Monster, and then you'll get some offers, but then you got to be aggressive and start looking for the offers. What is the best way to work on getting experience while taking courses or certificates? It really depends on start where you're at. That's what I would say. The best way is, like I'm telling you guys, is to start where you're at. If you have no experience, wherever you happen to be, it's better to ask for forgiveness than to beg. Listen, number one, see if they have openings. Ask your boss, say, hey, do they have any openings for IT? Because I'm trying to get into IT. And maybe he or she will say, well, yeah, there's a website. Go to the careers website. Go check it out. I've heard that they have a program. You'd be surprised. Some organizations have a program separately that will train you from this job over to this job. That's what happened to me. I was a police officer in the military, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. So I was like, I'm trying to go into IT, and I was kind of a geek. So I was always messing around with my computer, always learning, trying to learn code. Just I was fascinated by it. So I was always messing around with it. And I wanted to do that for a living. And I went to my boss and I said, hey, I'm trying to cross train. That's what we called in the Air Force. I'm trying to cross train into cross rate, is what the Navy calls it, into this other field. Like, how do I do? And he was like, nah, you can't do that. I was like, really? He said, no, you can't, because our field needs more people, and you guys, we're not allowing anybody to go over there. I was like, that doesn't sound right. So what I did was I went to another organization and asked. There's another organization we had on base that handles careers. And I was like, they would know. So I went there on my off time and said, hey, I'm trying to cross train from here to here. Like, how can I do it? And then my boss is telling me that I can't, because he says, nah, that's not true. He said, what are you trying to go into? I was like, I'm a 3PO X1, which is a police officer. I'm trying to go to be in computers or something else. And he said, yeah, like there's a field right here that needs people even more than the police officers, because the police officers are low man, but this one is even more low man. And I found out later the reason why is because everybody, as soon as they got their certifications and degrees and had some experience, they'd be offered like $80K on the outside in the military. I found that out later. Anyway, so I ended up cross training into this other field. So you got to listen, first ask, see if you can get over. And if they say, nope, you can't do it, I don't know what to do, then do your own research. Go on the website of the company and see if there's any careers that's looking for jobs. And if they don't have any, it's not the end of the world. Start looking around for local jobs that you can do. Anything you can do to get experience, like what you really want. Here's the perfect model for experience for you. It needs to be an organization. It needs to be the best experience you can put on your resume is usually going to be some organization that trusted you with their network, their information, their backups, their whatever, right? So you need to have an organization. That could be a university, it can be a store, it can be Walmart, it could be Target, it could be a restaurant, it could be any kind of organization that trusts you with their important data. It could be your uncle's tire store. Like, it can be, as long as you could put the organization on there. And here's another trick you can use. You could be a freelancer, and you could put that you were a freelancer in the description of the experience. If you're a freelancer, I've done some freelance work. There's no shame in it. Actually, that shows that you have self-discipline. Actually, that you're you don't need somebody to kind of direct you. You can like go and get things done. So you can also do freelance work. If you're looking for freelance work, I mean, there's some on LinkedIn, on Upwork. Some of it is remote. You don't even have to be there. Like, you can actually fix it remotely. And you could actually do freelance work on your own and be a freelancer fixing local computers for your uncle, for your aunt, for your local anybody. You could put freelance work, fixed X amount of computers, removed a rootkit from client, and the client's your grandma. I don't know. I'm just being creative here, but you could put that on. I mean, of course, if you come in the interview, you'd want to be able to describe like how you did it and break it all down. And if they're asking you about your client specifically, you can say, well, that's client information. I can't go into who it was or anything, but my client had a rootkit on their system, and here's how I removed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying you got to be creative, right? But that's experience. Freelance work, which you can do anywhere, that you could put on your resume. Another one would be local institutions, your local church, your local library, your local VA office. These guys are looking for people to help them out with their Wi-Fi, with their network, with their all that kind of stuff. Especially if you happen to be in that community, you definitely want to ask them. Your job, you can do transition, you can laterally change from one job to another. And if they don't allow you to, just shadow the IT guy. Ask the IT guy directly. Go to him and say, "Hey, man, I'm trying to learn. I don't want to be a bank teller anymore. Okay, is there a time that I can come and can you show me how to you do IT? Like, I want to learn how to do this stuff." And they might, like, normally they're gonna be cool about it. Sometimes if they're in a secure environment, then no, they're not gonna be cool about that, because they can't allow you to go there. But there's gonna be some instances where they want to teach you, and you could just shadow them and be helping them to do stuff if if you earn their trust or whatever. So those are some of the best ways you can do it to get the experience. Let me see. Somebody said, I wanted to go into the Marines when I was 27. Desert Storm was up. Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's it's not nice. The recruiter wanted me to score amazing on the math score. I don't you don't really have to have a high math score to go to be an infantry. That's weird that he would ask that. Jojo says, "How do I network with other professionals besides LinkedIn for jobs?" One way would be to on this joining these lives. There's actually quite a bit of people to talk to in this. You can also go to my Discord channel. Like, a lot of people follow me who are already in IT. Either they'll come in here and they'll answer questions for others. Like, I would say one way, like, here's one way, is just to join my community. Jumping on these calls is a great way. A lot of people here, I could count out a couple. Vaughn is a cybersecurity professional, IT professional. I believe Perry, who's right now, he's on LinkedIn. Let me see. There's some other IT professionals that are here who are in the field, who are actually doing this work, and you can talk to them. You know, Also Discord, my Discord channel. You can just go in there and ask questions, and people start exchanging information on there. So that's one way. Another way, um, I social media is kind of I don't know. It depends on the community. Like, I haven't found any solid Reddit channel. There's a couple of good security compliance Reddit channels that might help you out. Another place is something called here's one local you can find. This is probably one of the best ones that I would do if I were you. That's offline. I'm assuming that you are in Nevada. I don't know where you are, but Nevada. There's a group called ISSA. Let me show you this. This is one of the best ways to network with other IT professionals. In your area, wherever you live, there's an organization called the Information Systems Security Association. This is a group of people who just get together once a week or sometimes once a month, and they just talk about cybersecurity stuff. They talk about jobs. They'll have vendors come out and do like a presentation. They might have like Net Scout come out and do a presentation. And if you, wherever you're at, just type in, this one's for Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm assuming this is a popular one, but let me show you another one. ISSA, wherever you happen to be. Let's say you're in the DMV area. Let's say you're in Maryland. Maryland. So here's an ISA chapter in ISSA in Maryland. They probably have more than one because this is a huge community. Look, they already have they're going to meet on the 26th, and then they have who's going to come out. They'll have this is a great place to find other cybersecurity professionals. I found so many job opportunities, uh, so many captains of industry will show up there. And actually, the captains of so-called captains of industry, they're not even the ones you want to talk to. You know what I mean? You want to talk to like that manager who's looking for a couple people in your area. Those are the guys you want to talk to. Yeah. So Joe, what you want to do is look in Bellevue, Washington, Seattle, any of those, and they're gonna have an ISSA group. Go to that group. Just show up. and you'd be surprised. It's very cool. Like, you have a bunch of like-minded people who are in this industry. You'll see them from working from Microsoft, from Nintendo, from all the places in your local area, right? Nintendo has to be in your local. That's why I mentioned it. But in the restaurant industry and the federal government, and all of these people just come together as IT professionals and as information system security professionals, and they all just talk about, like, here's a new job. Here's this new technology. You guys should check this out. Normally they'll have like free food there, and they'll do it like maybe once. It depends on how active the chapter is. I was in one we did it about twice a month, I think. It was about twice a month, but there's some that are way more active. And then from there was a couple other chapters within the chapter. There was like groups that would meet up to do like hacking and stuff. Like, there was a hacker group that was training to go to DEF CON. And then there was like they were having a meet and greet at the Black Hat that's in Las Vegas. They had just all kinds of stuff was going on. What are these groups called? It's called ISSA. It looks like this. So ISSA is it's in every state. It's in every single state. I don't know if it's in every single city, but it's in every single state. We'll have one of these. You might have to drive if you live rural, if you're in the middle of nowhere or something. But here's one for this one's in Maryland, but let me show you Texas. Let's look for one in dumb old Texas. Let's look for one in Plano, Texas. Plano, Texas. ISSA. Yep, there's one right there. Plano, Texas. North. So they have more than one in one city. Look at this. Here's earn CPEs, learn network, talk to other people. Here's all their meetings. Like, they're having one like once a month. Here's their meetups right here. You have tons of these things. Another one is, let's see. I bet you Canada has one. Ontario, Canada. ISSA. I bet you they have one. Yep, there's one in Canada. Let's see. Name a place. They're everywhere. These things are everywhere. You go there. Normally, it's a combination of people just networking. That's the main thing people do, is that they network about certain things. I think you could just go to the main site too, and this main site will take you to anywhere you want to go. This is not the one. This is not the site. That's not the site. It's called ISSA. There's a security training. Let me see. We want security. They have conferences. They have summits. They have. Let me see. Washington. If you happen to be like really into cybersecurity and you're trying to network, not like network engineering, but you're trying to network to find places, this is one of the best places you can go to. Here's one in Puget Sound, Washington. Let me see. Yeah, they're everywhere. So ISSA, really great place to network. For sure, if you go to that, it's gonna change the whole trajectory of your career path. If you go on a regular basis, you'll meet people. You'll meet people with certain certifications, certain degrees. Hawaii, yeah, of course, yes. I'm sure they have one in Hawaii. I'm so sure. What part of Hawaii? What island? I bet you have one on every single island. Bet you they have one on Maui. I bet you there's one on Maui. Maui's a pretty small island. Let's say Maui ISSA. Let me see. Now I'm curious. Security. Maui cyberhawaii.org. Well, I see one in Hawaii. I don't know if there's one in Maui itself. But yeah, they have them everywhere, every state. And so ISSA has a podcast. I didn't know that. Oh man, I didn't know that. Let me see here. Bruce, last time I did a event. Bill Gates was drunk, and 3 weeks later he was divorced. What? He was probably drunk because he was getting a divorce, and then lost a whole bunch of money. Iowa, yeah, for sure, Iowa. In the big cities, Big Island. Do they have one on Big Island? I bet you they do. Now here's one in Honolulu, Hawaii. I just found one in Honolulu. Let me see. That's one in Honolulu. Let's see if there's one in Big Island. Big Island. I was at Big Island. I love that place, by the way. In Kona. I bet you they have one in Kona. This is a security. Hmm. Hmm. I think they have like a fee per year, but I'm not sure if you have to do it. Not sure if you have to do it. I'm looking on the I'm looking for Big Island. I don't know if there's one in Big Island. It could be that they have one and they don't have a website, which would be weird. But I'd be really surprised if they don't have one in Big Island. If they don't have one in Maui, I mean, Maui's pretty small, so maybe not. Events. I don't know. I'm not sure. Man, if they had one anywhere, I would assume it'd be Big Island. You have to research that one. Let me see. Somebody said cybersecurity difficult. There's a learning curve to cybersecurity. I would not say it was necessarily easy because there is a learning curve. There isn't a learning curve to cybersecurity because it's multidisciplinary, meaning to do it, you have to come in knowing some stuff. Like you have to know a little bit of networking. You got to know how computers work. You have to, you don't have to be a scientist or an engineer necessarily, right? You don't have to know super heavy math or anything like that. But you do have to know some technical stuff. So that said, it's not something you can just walk in off the street, start. Anybody can do cybersecurity. All of us on some level do cybersecurity. But in order to get a role in cybersecurity, they're expecting you to have a level that's above the average person, if that makes any sense. And typically they want you to have some experience in IT in general to do IT, to do cybersecurity. So I would say cybersecurity tasks are not difficult. The entry into cybersecurity, I would say, is not for everybody, number one. And I would not say it was easy. I would not say it was easy. I would not say it was like impossibly hard. I would say it was moderately. I would say it was moderate, but it also depends on what kind you go into because some of them are very difficult. Like I would say for me personally, cryptography is super hard. Like it's super. I cannot wrap my head around it. I cannot understand it at all. But that's part of cybersecurity. So I would not that path. That's a path that I probably will never go into. There's some stuff like cybersecurity analyst work can get pretty heavy. I would say forensics can get pretty deep. I've done some cybersecurity analyst work. It does go pretty deep. It goes pretty deep. I would say pen testing, you got to not only be talented, but a little bit creative, and you got to know pretty deep knowledge to be a pen tester and to be like a hacker, a red team type person. There's scientists who do cybersecurity, super hard stuff. But then there's some that are a little bit more. that are a little easier. There's no mathematics. There's not a lot of like technical hands-on stuff. I would say GRC, what I do, I wouldn't say it was super hard. Um, I would say it can get stressful. It can be psychologically hard, but technically it's not hard. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. I would say it's hard to get into cybersecurity. Not hard, but it's difficult. That's the same word. it's it's not easy to get into cybersecurity. There's a learning curve, and then it's going to take time. So not easy, but it's not impossible. If that makes any sense, I hope that. Um, I'm glad I've landed here. So random. I'm trying to get into becoming a security operations center analyst. Oh, so this is something I did for a while. I was just talking about this. A security operations center analyst is also known as a cybersecurity analyst. So I did that for a while, and it was fun. Like I really liked it. It was really, really fun because it can go. It's like it would felt like I was solving puzzles all the time, and that was just really fun to do. That said, you kind of always got to be up on your game. Like you're constantly in learn mode. You're constantly gathering information on the latest vulnerabilities, the latest threats. That's a big one. And then the latest ways to secure your system. So you kind of always having to like learn, but that's a fun aspect for me. So I would say like if you're like really into this is something you're really gonna love. It's really gonna be fun. And there's a couple of certifications that can get you in the door that will help you out. Is your background in IT at all? Somebody said I'm trying to get into SCADA hacking. Advise me on what's the best approach. Thanks. Um, I'm not a SCADA guy. There might be somebody on this live who's a SCADA person though. And so I would say if is there anybody who's doing SCADA in this live across Indeed, across LinkedIn, across Facebook, across YouTube? Is anybody have any advice? So somebody Wonder asked, he said he's trying to get into SCADA hacking. Advise me on what's the best approach to do it. Do you mean like you're trying to be a red teamer in SCADA, or are you trying to literally hack a critical infrastructure? Because that might be the wrong. I'm the wrong guy to talk to about that. I'm not trying to catch a case. I did help desk some time ago. Truck driving has taken over. Trying to get back into it. Um, hmm, hmm. What could you do from there? What could you do from there? You're gonna have to start off with basic, more than likely, polishing up your IT skills. You're gonna have to polish up your IT skills, number one. You know, so that you can. I mean, you've got a leg up on a lot of people, so it's not the end of the world that you did it a while ago. So what I would do is I would number one polish up on my IT skills. That's what I would do. That means like get up on what's going on right now. I don't know how many years ago you did it, but right now what's super hot is cloud technology. Is super big. Like I would learn that stuff. The basics you don't necessarily have to, create a instance on cloud or anything like that, but that would be nice. I would polish up my skills on Linux, uh, command line interface stuff. I'd get smart on the current versions of Windows. Um, One thing you probably do on the road that won't, as you're driving, is probably work on Wi-Fi stuff that would both enhance. You mean you'd be able to have Wi-Fi, but also be working on it. It can go everywhere with you. So you could probably set up your own like Wi-Fi network and start working on it at your stops. That's the one thing you could do. Maybe ask your trucking company if they have IT, if they need IT people. Maybe they have Wi-Fi that's already on all the trucks and they allow you to go and mess with them. So those are some of the things that you could do possibly. I mean, I don't know your situation. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas of how you can get in there. But number one, I would say polish up your skills if you've been out for a while, because things have changed and they're changing very, very rapidly. And from there, you want to start trying to get more recent experience. And you can do that. Like you could try to help if you work for a trucking company. If you have your own trucking company, you could say you're a freelancer and like set up networking in your truck and then start like secure it and all that kind of stuff, put a firewall on it, update the patches on it. That's another way you could do it. I'm just kind of coming up with ideas on the fly here, but that's a couple things you could do that could help you get into the field again. And then you want to put that stuff on your resume. That's another thing. Put it on your resume and then start shopping around for IT jobs. Now, right now, like in the beginning, it's going to be rough because probably trucking makes more than an entry level IT job, I imagine. And you're going to have to, at some point, get yourself an entry level, unless there might be, well, since you have a background. I mean, I don't know what your background, I don't know how many certifications or degrees or anything like that you have, but you might be able to land something that does make more in trucking since you have a background in it. So there's a chance. But the first thing is polish up your knowledge and then get that more recent experience. Somebody asked me, have you ever done a bug bounty? No. I'm not a hacker. I'm not a red teamer. That's not my profession. I'm a GRC person. So I know that red teamers and hackers look down on my filth, which is policy type people. They see us as filth. As long as I'm getting paid, baby. That's what matters. Okay, let me see. Got some other people jumping in here. Somebody said, Chan said, want a work from home cyber ISO role in 1 year. I start first IT field service soon with DoD. I will have a clearance soon. What steps should I take day one? My first IT job, bachelor's degree, 10 years of experience. What steps should I? So you want to do work from home. I start my first IT field service job soon in DoD, and we'll have a clearance soon. Okay, so okay, all right. I got something for you, Chan. Here's how you do it. Check this out. So what you want to do when you land this job is, and it's gonna sound obvious at first, but I'm gonna build to something here. Do a very good job. When you get in, learn, be like a sponge. Learn everything. Don't turn any work down. Be that guy that goes out and fixes stuff immediately. Be super hardcore about it. Show up on time all the time. Learn more stuff. If they say, hey, we need somebody to learn this cloud stuff, learn it. If they say, hey, we want to send this person to school, we need this or that done, do it. Learn as much as you can. Be super gung-ho. After about 6 months to a year, all right, what you're going to do, is start looking for other work. Now, since you were hardcore in the first 6 months, like that means you did all the tickets. You never said no to your boss. Like you always on time. If there's anything new to learn, you did it. The reason why it's important is because when you go to another job, they're going to call your old boss. They're going to call them and say, hey, we needed a reference. They gave your name as a reference. Did Chan work there before? Yeah. Was he a good worker? What was your experience with? He was awesome, man. He always learned. Like he was always the guy, the go-to guy. We hate to see him go, but he was a great dude. Never burn your bridges in information technology, especially cybersecurity, because it's a very small field. There's not many of us, and we all kind of know each other, or we know of somebody who does know you. So that being said, you gotta always you can't burn bridges in this field. You can't do it, man. So do a good job when you get in there, is my advice to you, right? That might sound obvious to you. But then what you're going to do is open up doors to do that work from home job. We're looking for a work from home job person right now. You're going to have experience, right? But I work in a government agency. If we had a person like yourself who had 6 months of experience, if you had 6 months of experience right now, I would give you a link of somebody you can contact right now to come work where I'm working. Right now, I'm working from home for a government organization. We need people right now. So the first step though is to like be that guy there. Because when you leave, um, you're gonna have to use that person as a reference. I'm not telling you to kiss anybody's ass or anything, but I'm just saying do a great job so that when you leave, it's felt. And that way you have a good rapport with that organization so that when you level up, right, you're using them as a stepping stone. So that's what I would say, is how you want to do it. And that clearance is going to help you out quite a bit. Then, and another thing is if you leave early, this is why you really want to do a good job, because if you leave early, they're going to be pretty pissed off, you know. So yeah, 6 months to a year is what I would say. And you retain your clearance right after that. Join the National Cyber League. Okay, this is another organization. Somebody besides the ISSA. There's actually a couple other ones come to mind. But let me check out the national. I've never done this National Cyber League, but I've never been a part of it, but I have heard of something like this before. National Cyber. I wonder if this is the one you're talking about. Okay. So here's one that somebody mentioned, and I've got another one I just thought about, but this is National Cyber League is one, and another one is called ISS. Oh my Lord, what is it called? There's another organization, ISS. Man, I cannot remember. Infrastructure. Oh man, I have not. Let me see if I can find it. It's called Infrastructure. The FBI is a part of it. Cyber. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. I can't remember what it is. Damn it. It was a while ago, but it's also a pretty big organization besides ISA. There's ISSA. There's ISACA. There's one called ISACA. They have meetups every now and then too. ISACA is the guys who do the ISS. They do the CISA and the C-Risk and some other ones. But there's another one, and I can't think of the name of it. And they also meet from time to time, but that one's a little smaller. And damn it, I don't remember what it is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to move on, man. Getting too old for this. Can't remember stuff. Okay. I also have risk management framework knowledge and have written policies for practice. Yeah. So that is great. Like you need to make sure that's on your resume. Make sure that's on your resume. And then when you get to this next job, your first job as an IT service job, if there's ever a chance you can write stuff, that's really, really good for GRC work. If you're writing, whether it's writing plans or writing procedures for your coworkers, or writing like work instructions, or helping with policy, any kind of technical writing you can help with, or even training, that's really going to help you out to get GRC work after this 6 months to a year of you doing this field work. Joe, thank you so much for that $2, man. I appreciate it. Just keep looking, man. Keep looking. Keep on looking. I think Security Onion has some SCADA tools that you may do a home lab. Oh, okay. So Vaughn just gave me some information on the. I don't know if the SCADA guy is still here. It looks like he already left. Did he already leave? Nope. Wonder. So Wonder, somebody just said there's a site called Security Onion that has some SCADA tools that can offer you a home lab where that'll help you to level up. Somebody asked me earlier if there's a way that they can do some red team hacking for SCADA systems. I guess they're trying to learn how to defend SCADA systems. And then Vaughn said there's SCADA tools there might be some for Security Onion that has something that'll help you out. So let me see. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Great information. Let me see what we're talking about here. Security. I don't know if this is what you're talking about. I'm on Security Onion right now. And maybe they have, maybe here it is. Right. Let me show my screen. Here's Security Onion right here. And I don't know if they have SCADA stuff, but there's the site. Not sure if this is, check that out. Maybe that'll help you out. Let me see other questions here. And while I'm looking for other questions, you guys should know I've got another awesome deal on a book that's $1 right now listed on Amazon. I'm gonna try to come out with more. I got some books out there, and I just been kind of sitting on them, and now I'm just kind of slowly releasing them. So right now I've got one that I recently wrote that's on prompt engineering. If you're interested in that, AI prompt engineering, it's going to be a part of a series where we go deeper and deeper to learn this stuff. At some point, all of us are going to have to know it, just like all of us know how to use a browser. It's going to be like that. So this is going to kind of just get you into the waters on how you can use it to be more efficient and even to make money. I see a bunch of entry cybersecurity jobs listed, but with large requirements. And that's the thing, like entry level is not no experience. A lot of times there's a misinterpretation of what entry level means. InfraGuard, that's what it was. Thanks, PS. I'll come back to that. Man, how did you read my mind? That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So a lot of people, especially folks that follow me on TikTok, people are trying to get into this field, and they think they conflate entry level with like no experience. That's it's kind of two different things, because entry level can include people with no experience, but usually it means you have little experience. It doesn't like organizations when they say entry level, it means that you have about a year of experience. That's what it really means. It doesn't mean no experience. It doesn't normally mean that. But if you want to find those jobs, what you got to do is there's a filter on LinkedIn, there's a filter on Dice and on Monster where you can literally look for no experience. You type in what you want: cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity SOC analyst, whatever, and then you put there's a filter that says no experience or no degree, and then that will fine tune your search. So that being said, there are no experience jobs, cybersecurity and IT jobs with no experience, but they all expect you to know something. There's no exemption from not knowing any information. Like you have to do the work of like knowing the information. Let me see. PS says InfraGard. That's exactly what I was looking for. Man, what is wrong with me? And I just haven't thought about that in a long, long time. But there was this huge organization called InfraGard, and it's just like ISSA, where it's all over the place. Let me see if I can find their page. InfraGard National Member Alliance. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Okay, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about here, just real quick. So here's InfraGard and let's see, ISSA out of Washington. They have a chapter everywhere. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick different ways to network. So here's ISSA. This one I'll highly recommend. Just in your area, wherever you're at, type in ISSA. You'll find this a great way to network and find other people, like-minded people with jobs, everything, just all kinds of stuff that you can do. Here's another one, National Cyber League. This is the first time I know of another one that's kind of similar to this, but here's another organization you can kind of mess around with. And then there's one called InfraGard. Let me see, where is that? Where is it? I just had it. Okay, here it is. And InfraGard, these guys protect the infrastructure of the United States. So their focus is not just IT. It's on everything. It's on any kind of infrastructure within the US that could be targeted by a nation states. So this is here's their part on IT, and it's linked directly to the CISA. So these guys will have like meetings every now and then in other states, and I just remember being reached out to go to some of their meetings. But yeah, there it is right there. Thanks for that, PS. I appreciate it. InfraGard is on hold. They were compromised a while back. They are. Oh man, that's brutal, man. They're vetting all members again. You also have to apply. Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's too bad. That's too bad. It's a cold world. All right, guys. I think that's it. I've been talking for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna let you guys go, but thank you so much. I'm gonna do these throughout the week. I'm gonna do a couple more throughout the week. So if you didn't know, I've always got free stuff out there, always got huge discounts, especially for the people who follow me on a regular basis. If you follow this live, that's great. But I also have a newsletter where I give out like jobs, like regular. I getting jobs like every day. I can't do all the jobs. Like I don't need all that stuff. So I just give them out to my newsletter. I just say, hey guys, here's some jobs. Some of them are actually work from home jobs. Some of them are high level jobs where they need a like director or something. Some of them are low level jobs. Some of them like entry level positions. Sometimes I get those. So if you guys are looking for that, join my newsletter. I'll send those out every now and then. And I also send out free books, free courses, free all kinds of stuff. So go to convocourses.net, link in description, link below. You'll be able to find all my resources. One of the best ways, if you're just like really getting into this, is just to follow me on YouTube, Convocourses on TikTok, Convocourses on Facebook. I'll just put out stuff all the time, random stuff. You can also just email me at contact@convocourses.com. Ask me questions or whatever. I'm pretty responsive. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm out of here. I will see you guys sometime this week.